My 26F husband, 29M, hid that a coworker tried to kiss him. How do we move past this? My 26F husband, 29M, and I have been married for about 1.5 years and we have a 6-month-old. I love my husband and son more than anything. My husband treats me wonderfully and I couldn't be happier and prouder to be with him. I recently found out that he hid something major from me and I would appreciate any advice on how we can move past this. My husband's team at work recently finished a huge project and had a celebration dinner and drinks event at a nearby golf range. At the event, one of my husband's female colleagues kept staring at me, and when I went to the washroom, she followed me. She initiated a small conversation where she introduced herself to me and apologized for what happened a few months ago and to not blame my husband. I was confused and asked what she meant, to which she replied, "I thought he told you." When I asked her again what she was referring to, she just ran out of the washroom and I think she left the venue immediately after. On the drive home, my husband noticed I was a little off and asked if I was okay, and I told him what his colleague said and asked what it was about. He admitted that she had tried to kiss him a little over 4 months ago when she and my husband were alone in the office early that morning, and he immediately stopped her and has only had contact with her through his company's mode of communication since. He offered to show me the texts of her apologizing and him threatening to go to HR if it happened again, and was fully open about what happened and said that he had planned to tell me later on, as I was only 6-7 weeks postpartum at that time, but he was unsure when he would eventually tell me. After we put our son to bed, I just broke down crying. I understand why he didn't tell me, but I really wish he did. I trust him wholeheartedly, and finding out something like this months later is a terrible feeling. I feel that no matter what, I have a right to know immediately if someone is making advances on my husband. He apologized for not telling me sooner and held me and comforted and reassured me. I made the mistake of confiding in a friend about this, and she's been trying to fill my head with doubts regarding my husband's loyalty. Mentally, I'm a mess. How do we move past this, other than cutting off this friend? Although he didn't tell you, I have to say, if he denied her advances and told HR you have a very loyal husband, he probably wanted to hold off on telling you because of postpartum. Don't be too hard on him, you have yourself a good guy. Your friend doesn't sound like she has your best interest at heart. The woman who told you orchestrated it precisely to make sure you and hubby have a fight. Maybe she wanted to provoke him to make him contact her, maybe just for revenge. Either way, she got what she wanted. Given the text exchange you've seen, I say your husband is a very loyal man who is put in a no-win position. Once he's done the right thing by turning her down, he could go home and tell his hormonal, fresh postpartum wife and risk havoc, or keep it to himself and wait for a better moment, while risking, well, this. Your husband sounds like a stand-up guy. Forgive and forget. That co-worker did that shit on purpose. Husband handled her correctly. I think he wanted to protect his precious wife and child from any negative feelings. The co-worker is one brazen, crazy woman. Geez. And your friend is an ass. Go enjoy your family, sister. Not the asshole yet. But don't be an AH. He handled it, and her. She is trying to get back at him for being rejected. He sounds like a stand-up guy. Dry the tears, hug him, and realize you picked a winner of a husband. Your husband is loyal, and while he made a mistake by not telling you then, I understand why. His coworker wants revenge for being rejected by causing problems in your marriage. She wasn't looking to apologize at all. Also, that friend is not your friend, cut her off. Go to counseling to help you move past this, and don't let anyone else go into your head. My mom, F57, threatens to not attend my, F29, wedding if my dad's, M56, GF joins. What should I do? Edit. Many people are commenting the same thing, so I just want to clear something up. Poppy seemed to be a nice lady. I just looked it up cause I was confused. Seems like I haven't wrote it down properly. Sorry for the confusion. Sorry, this will be long. I'm trying to put as much information in as I can. My parents are separated since I was like 7 years old, and well, they handled it awfully. What followed was years of them talking bad behind their back to us, fights, even on the street, which was super embarrassing, and mental abuse by my mother, who especially handled things badly after my dad cheated on her. They both generally didn't fit well together. This just ended things definitely. My mom is like a firecracker. She can explode from one moment to another and doesn't care who she hurts doing so.
always used to be like this. Sounds crazy, but besides that she was just a single mom with 3 kids who worked her ass off for us.
Never doubted that she loved us, but if something negative happened, school-related especially, she would scream and cry for hours, going from, "I'm such a bad mother," to saying hurtful stuff and what she's all doing for us. My dad couldn't provide that time. It was rough. Years later, I'm now 29. We have a good relationship. She apologized, now married for years. My father apologized, and after I found the best person on earth who was even willing to work with me on those issues I eventually got as a child of divorce, we got engaged and I will marry soon formally. Wedding party will be in 2026. My parents' relationship is good now. They can peacefully coexist in one room and it's good. Now, my father has a girlfriend. I'll call her Poppy, and she's a kind, nice lady from his hometown. They rekindled and have been dating for over 10 years. I really liked her. She was the perfect mix of kind, funny and educated, and I felt like my father opened up more again. Now like 7 years ago, I was 22, my mom and her were close friends until they had a falling out. Apparently Poppy told my mom all the things we said about her when I was around 17 years old. We talked bad about our mom because of her character and her inability to hold discussions without screaming at us at full volume and making us not hating her existence. And my mother of course felt betrayed by us. Apparently Poppy went full on telling her we think she's a psycho, that nobody wants to be near her and other stuff. Apparently the fight started because Poppy told my mother that she cheated on my dad, and my mother said she needs to tell him the truth. After she refused, my mother wrote my dad and told him. In my opinion, my mother has many flaws, but I felt like she was always honest. So I guess I believed her when she told me the story. Apparently Poppy has been doing shady stuff in general, trying to trick my brother into giving her money. She made me feel bad at 17, so I gave her my dad's iPad password, which didn't go well, and she made father leave our family chat group that contained my mother in it. As you can imagine, it was easy to believe my mom after all that. I don't have any contact with her, only when I'm at my dad's and they FaceTime I'm civil. They have a IDR. She always seems fake nice to me. Now, my mother told me that she will not come to my wedding party unless Poppy will stay at home. Me and my brothers talked to her about it, but she's dead set on it, which OFC I can understand. Now, I don't know the full story, and it might sound heartless, but my mother is prone to overreacting badly sometimes. She takes criticism badly and it always ends with her yelling and us just not caring anymore. Not saying Poppy is right at all, but I'm caught between two sides and honestly, I'm super pissed. After all those years of mental torture from my distanced father, who still can't properly show affection most of the time, to my emotionally draining mother, I'm so pissed that after all they put me and my brothers through, they can't just do this one thing for me and be civil for one day. I'm no bridezilla. But I think everyone understands when I want this to be about my fiancé and me, a day with our loved ones. They don't contribute money-wise, by the way. I will go talk to my dad, but don't even know how to tell him what my mom said. I'm tired of this and don't know what to do. Any advice on what I should do? Too long did not read. Mom and dad's girlfriend don't like each other. Mom threatened to not attend my wedding if she's there. I'm mad after all those years of abuse. They can't just get a grip like grown-ups and be there for me. Easy. Don't invite Poppy. She sounds like a troublemaker. Why invite Poppy? Just curious. She has only stirred up drama with y'all and tried to hurt the relationship with your mom, dad, and between y'all. Poppy seems like a major problem. It's really inappropriate she asked for money from your brothers. Just invite your parents without a +1. I did not find one instance of Poppy being a nice, kind lady. 1. Cheated on your father. 2. Went to tell your mother all the things she knew in confidence with the sole purpose of hurting your mother. 3. Scammed your father to get his money. 4. Emotionally blackmailed you so you would betray your father, which is what I got from, made you feel bad, so you gave your father's password. As an adult, can you recognize your mother was overworked, tired and overextended trying to raise and provide for you and your siblings? Did child support cover your expenses? You're an adult now, so the tough spot you were in growing up may seem different now if revisited as an adult from your mother's perspective. In case it was not clear, it's obvious this Poppy lady should not be invited to your wedding. Have it without her. She wants to act like a child, treat her like one. It's your wedding. You don't have to cope with all the shitty requirements of your relatives. If she doesn't want to come, she doesn't want to, and you should go on.
Honestly, elope.
Plan a vacation and get married somewhere beautiful. Anyone who truly cares about you will want you to have a stress-free wedding, whether they are there to witness the moment or not.
Then have a party when you get back, invite anyone you want, and if someone else doesn't want to come, they can RSVP no. My boyfriend 36M has been weird lately towards me 26F.
How do I start a conversation about this?
We have been dating for 2 years. Here are some things that happened recently. He was talking to his ex behind my back, and I found this out by going through his phone and account. He was texting each other about things they remind each other.
And he said he missed their conversations. Due to this, he changed all his passwords and is extra dodgy about his phone. But he can access my phone openly.
He called me crazy after the phone incident and continuously does so.
Which makes me feel horrible about myself, and I made it a point to him about it, and he said, "You were acting like one by keeping on asking if I am talking to my ex." Every time he takes a phone call, he makes sure I am not in the room. Last night I heard his friend said, "How's your girlfriend situation?" and he said goodbye to his friend to avoid the topic.
I am so sad. I know it's wrong about invading his privacy, but my instinct. He would also constantly yell at me on days that he had a bad work day. Any advice on how to open up a conversation about this without escalating into a fight?
What's the best way to do this?
Update. I went to my parents' house tonight as we had a terrible fight, and I am scared it will get physical.
This was after I called him out over a racist remark he made about me, I am Asian, when he asked me to watch his dog while he's out of town. He said, "Can you watch my pup? Make sure you or your mom doesn't eat her." Don't date people who yell at you. Not even going into the sketchy situation with his ex, this guy needs a firing for taking out his stress on you. This isn't how someone acts when they like and respect you.
He was talking to his ex behind my back. Stopped reading there. No further info needed. Trust is broken. Why do you want to fix this? Think about this carefully. People who shout at you are not good relationship people. People who hide things and leave the room for conversations are not good people to have relationship. You're probably getting too old for him. He's itching to start trolling the college bars for the next fresh one. Please, ma'am, don't allow him to deflect and make you the bad guy when he is clearly cheating.
I don't mean sexually but emotionally. That's how sexual cheating begins.
You are a woman, and women can be very competitive.
Sometimes some women don't even want the guy if he's single. It's a challenge to take him from his current girlfriend. If he doesn't stop talking to her, you need to tell him it's over, because it will be if he keeps going in the direction that he's going. Don't let him manipulate into thinking it's your fault when he is the problem.
If you base your value on his opinion of you, you're going to be a victim. You decide what you want and you teach people how to treat you. If you don't stand up for yourself, who will? God bless, and don't believe the lies. Please. Folded hands, medium skin tone, heart. 19 Mojave, a girlfriend, 18F, who sends kissing snaps to a boy. What should I do?
Hi, so today my girlfriend, 18F, gave me, 19M, her Snapchat herself IDKY. But when I checked it, I found that 3 weeks back she used to send a boy snaps like, morning kisses, and she has sent her a few snaps while kissing the camera, and the boy has also sent her a few. Now she is in college, and I told her about it. At first she was like, "Don't leave me, I love you, it's not what you think, blah blah," and Aslo, she said he is just a friend and she will block him. What should
I do? I don't know. Also, we ate in a long-distance relationship and have been dating for almost 2 months now. You're too young to be stressing over infidelity issues. There's plenty of other girls for you. Only 2 months in and she's already been flirting with other boy.
You ask yourself if you want to stay with that kind of girl.
Leave. Those kind of issues will keep getting worse and bigger. I've seen this type. If it was later in life and you were older, maybe have second thoughts about leaving and talk it through.
But RN? At 18/19, and she's in college and it's long distance?
Please leave.
Please leave.
It will not get any better with her.
If she is herself thinking you could leave her for that, it's because she knows herself it is bad and that he's not just a friend, it is clearly flirt. So if I were you, since it's only 2 months you are together, I would go away before you get too much in love. If she did it once and you had to spot her for her to stop, imagine what she can do that you won't see.
What would you tell your friend if you were in a situation like this?
Nothing smells right about this. If you're in a relationship with someone, you don't send secret kiss messages to people. Also, dude, you're 19 years old, this is the prime of your life. Literally significant other, many women out there for you to meet in the coming years, you will find the right one. But considering trust is already broken and you're in a long-distance relationship, not worth it. LDR is a hassle at your age and specific situation.
In addition, she seems not ready for a committed relationship.
Break up and move on. If you reconnect after college, good.
If not, it wasn't meant to be. This is the advice I would give my kids in a couple of years when they're your age.